What's up, everybody? This is Brad, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different. And we're going to react to Masahiro Sakurai's video on the debate between digital games versus physical games. Excuse me. Because this is something that gamers have been arguing over for the longest time, and I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer. My opinion is there's room to have both, and that both options should exist. But I want to see what Sakurai says. It's two minutes, 40 seconds. I've already read what his stance is, but I want to see what his, logic is. Why he chooses what he chooses. I haven't really paid much attention to Sakurai's YouTube channel, so this is overdue. I may stop it if I see a point made.
ソフトを買うには店頭や通販でパッケージを買う方法とダウンロード販売で買う方法があります。
And that's not always true.
メリットとデメリットがありますよね。パッケージは手元に物として残るし、容量を食わない。限定版などの販売もあるし、コレクションもできる。
Yeah, so the pros, of course, yeah, you can keep your game forever as long as it will still physically, as long as the machine it's made for can still physically read the cartridge or the disc or whatever, you can play that game forever. And like in the second point, it doesn't eat up data and storage space on your hardware. That's always good. The collectability thing, I don't know. I used to like collecting like DVDs, but like, I'm not like so much now isn't like I want to collect a specific, type of game, at least as far as that goes. I don't know. But anyway, I agree with that. Yeah, you don't need it. Alright, so the pros for the digitals. Instant purchase, correct. You get your game, and if you have good quality internet, you can download your game immediately and play it immediately. Always in stock. That's not always true. As you've seen, let's use the Switch for example. Let's go back to this game, which was a free game to be fair. But Super Mario Bros. 35, that, special limited time battle royale Mario game. What happened to that after 6 months? They killed it. Killed it dead for no reason. Like, and that's the problem. You're not always going to be able to get games online. And as this is, at the time I'm recording, this is January 2023. In a few months, like 2 months from now, I think it is, the Wii U and 3DS shops are going to go offline, and some of those games on those platforms are exclusive to those platforms. So once those eShops are down, those games are gone, and your only options then to play some of those will be to have to emulate them. So the always in stock thing is not accurate. I mean, I get what he's saying, like, for the games that are there, yes, they are always in stock. In other words, there's not the always in stock thing means that there's not a physical limit to how many you can buy. If you have a computer, you can, or if you have the hardware to support the game, you can buy this game. The problem is when the publishers revoke the game. Like when Epic bought Fall Guys. Fall Guys was able to be bought on Steam until Epic bought it, and then they removed it from Steam. Now, I bought it on Steam right before they decided to buy it and make it free to play, and so I can still play Fall Guys by accessing it through Steam, but it filters through the Epic program, or whatever you call it, the Epic Store, I guess. I don't know. But that's just one of those. So, like, yeah, you get the benefit of there's not a physical stock that you have to worry about depleting. Although with the way that like some of these like NFT nerds and stuff want to make it, they would want that. Imagine that though. Like imagine that there were only say 100 copies of say Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I mean, 100's an unrealistic amount, but let's just say that. Like if you wanted to buy Smash Brothers digitally, you could only buy. They would only allow the sale of like say like 1,000,000. Let's just try to be a little bit more. A million. Now, what if you're number 1,000,001? You've got the space on your Switch. You've got the money, but you can't get it because they're going to treat the digital like it's physical. Now, that doesn't sound very fun, is it? Kind of defeats the whole purpose of making it digital, so that there's not a physical limitation on how many can be sold. You basically have in a way, you have infinite product because you just have to put the data on the service and then it can basically be sold forever. So the idea of like an NFT and stuff like that, it's literally limiting an infinite good just for the sake of making it rare. And ultimately, so you could charge more for it, which sucks. Like, why? You'll make more money. Like we can make this if we only have so many of them. We can eventually the price will go up. Well, no, eventually your price will go up so high that nobody will want it, and that's what happened to NFTs. Most of them, if I'm not mistaken, are either worthless, are being investigated as scams, or or both. But anyway, so yeah, that is a benefit to that. But anyway, let's see if he'll go over the negatives. Also, yes, you don't have to go to a physical store to go pick your game up. Alright, so Sakurai is team digital.
私はたくさんソフトを買いますが、あんまり物に対する執着はなくて、コレクター気質ではないんです。
Yeah, that was funny.
昔の会社に勤めていた頃はまだ収納スペースがあったのですが、独立した
I like the actual photo from back then. That's funny. So Sakurai's thing is, yeah, if you don't have the benefit of having lots of extra room, yeah, so he keeps his disc in a binder.
しかし特に家庭用ゲームのダウンロード販売って高いですよね。器もこちらで用意しているし、パッケージなどの付属物もないのに、パッケージ版とそうそう差がなかったりして。
Yes.
もちろん
Depends though.
ここでは省略します。市場の問題かな。
It could be market issues.
があるというのは本当にありがたいことですが、多くゲームをプレイする私にとって願わくば好みのフォルダ分けなどはちゃんとできるようにしてほしいですかね。なお私は本も電子書籍を使います。今現在電子書籍
So Sakurai has leaned into the, I can keep all my stuff in one place and it's not split up.
とにかくスペースは大事です。
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much space you can have. You know, there's only so much space available for you to put stuff. So you start to run out, then you either got to get rid of stuff or not buy new stuff. And so I do think that the need to buy digital games is real. But the problem with that, and if you look at the animation industry or like the bigger like television stuff, movies, is that when everything goes digital, that means that the platforms that they're on can pull the cord at any time, and then that game's gone. Like we talked about with Mario 35. That game's there. Don't take it for granted that something that's digitally available at any time is going to always be there. You see all the time, there are dedicated social media accounts that whenever a particular show or series, whatever, is set to expire on certain platforms, They send out a warning ahead of time saying like, hey, heads up, in a month, such and such show is due to expire on this platform and you may not be able to watch it anymore. Look at how fast like Netflix will cancel a show. Remember when Cowboy Bebop, their live action Cowboy Bebop, was the next big thing? And how it had gotten so many views when it dropped? And then like the very next week, they canceled it? And I think they just, as of like yesterday, canceled that Inside Out cartoon they had where they had previously announced they were renewing it. And then suddenly, boom, they decided not to, they reversed course on that and they canceled Inside Out. So I haven't seen Inside Out. I didn't watch any of the Cowboy Bebop or anything. But this is what's happening. Look at HBO Max. Look at what has happened to that. They recently cut a bunch of classic Flintstones episodes and Looney Tunes episodes on top of all of the cuts they've made so far. Canceling shows, getting rid of shows that had just finished running. I mean, they're the purging of their own, like, it's amazing. Like, there will be like so many documentaries in the future talking about the fall of HBO Max. This was supposed to be the biggest, most appealing looking streaming service. And what happened to it? It crumbled. It's now like a laughing stock. And then even like Disney Plus has a lot of good stuff, but like even they pull things randomly sometimes. And it happens to games too. And then you end up with like somebody else I saw on Twitter the other day was talking about how if you have a PS3, you can still go onto the that digital shop, and buy PS1 and PS2 licensed games. You can't get them on the PS4 or PS5 though. So why not? Why can they not make a new deal with some of these companies to put those older games on the newer systems? And it just, you've got to find, there needs to be a focus on preserving video games so that when deals fall through, like that's why emulation is so popular. And I don't think that emulation is ever going to be not popular as long as like these classic games are held back. And so there's a need to have both physical and digital available. There are games that I would look for. I mean, I would personally rather have the physical. Again, it saves on, you don't have to download stuff and it eats up your data storage, or storage data, whatever. Because the core built-in functioning parts of the game are in a cartridge or on a disc. At the same time, some of these games are only available digitally. At least like on modern consoles. And the older a console gets, once it's out of the current gen, it's going to be more expensive and harder to find. I've been looking through Amazon trying to find decently priced Wii U or Wii games because the Wii U's internal storage is garbage. There's barely any room, and like I just recently actually finished buying two of the main games I wanted for the Wii U before the shop shuts down, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, the two big HD Zelda re-releases. And I've got a little bit more space on my Wii U left, so I kind of want to use it. Want to find something to fill that remaining space up. But again, there's not much room on it. And it's even worse because you do have external storage options for consoles. But like in the Wii U's case, you gotta get real expensive. You gotta get real specific because like you can't just use normal storage options. That doesn't work for the Wii U. So, in my opinion, if you can get it physical at a decent price, I would say go with the physical. Now, like one of the reasons why I like Switch games, the Switch cartridges and the little the containers for the thing, the boxes, whatever you call the friggin' game thing that you put the games in there. They come with it, the boxes. Anyway, excuse me. They're fairly small. They're very thin, and they don't take up a lot of room at all. So I've got a lot of Switch games from over the years, and they don't take up much space at all. But again, like Sakurai said, some people don't have the extra room for all that stuff. So digital may be the best way for them to go. But I do know that one of the problems with that is also that digital games, newer, more complex digital games, take up a lot of space. Now, you might get a bunch, like, finding a bunch of, like, low memory or smaller sized games, that's probably understandable. But, like, if all of your games are going to be, like, 50 gigs, 40 gigs, 30 gigs, like, that's going to eat up your space quick. And so you got to be careful. So I would especially say if you're looking for a bigger game, go physical if you can. And save your smaller games, if the digital stuff you want to buy, save that for the digital ones. If possible. Sometimes you may not be able to do that. Maybe a physical copy of a game is not available. Which goes back to another problem I said. Like, if you can, I think that these developers should be trying to make physical copies of their games to sell. I understand maybe on the indies that might be a little bit more difficult because you just don't have the funds for it. It's just easier for indie devs to get their game out there digitally. But you also aren't going to really expect like an indie game to, take up the same amount of size as say something like Skyrim. I'm just using Skyrim as an example because it's one of the biggest games that I've downloaded. It's just like these enormous, like 20, 30, 40 gig games. I mean, I can't imagine what a game like, say, Elden Ring, I can't imagine how much something like that takes up on a console. But anyway, I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, so it's probably time to end the video. But yeah, like, I would say you should get as many physical games as you can within reason, because when it comes to digital, they can revoke that at any time. Whereas once you have the physical game, they can't block you from playing that anymore. So, but at the same time, not every game is available digitally. And even if you can't buy a game, say through Steam or any of the platform-specific online shops, you can try to emulate them. But, like I said, there's pluses and negatives to both of them. And I think that it's ultimately going to rely on the publishers and the developers to make their games available in both ways so that people can choose. But, like I said, me personally, physical so they can't take it from you. Otherwise, and try to save your digital purchases for smaller scale games if you can't find the physical version of a game. I recently bought some decently sized digital games, though. It's because couldn't get the physical version of it on one of the systems I have. So if I wanted to play that game, there's no other way to do it. But that's why you got to weigh those pros and cons. Just got to figure out what's best for you. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting topic, and I'm glad Sakurai touched on it just briefly. He kind of just threw in the very bare bones of it. but he got the point across in under 3 minutes, so good enough, I think. And I'm gonna try to keep my eye on Sakurai's channel and see as he. I like the fact that he takes the time to do these little videos now. And so anybody who's just kind of casually curious about the way things are and work within the industry, it's fun to get it straight from the mouth of a true icon and legend within the video game world. So good on Sakurai. But that's all I got for you today. I just thought this would be fun to talk about. And just reminding you again, Wii U and 3DS shops are closing soon. I'll probably do a video at some point right before the shops close. Or maybe sooner so people can have time to look and make their own decisions. And kind of cover games that I think people should play, or that I've played, or anything that just seems like an interesting game. So I'll go through the Wii shop another day. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Go check out all my other stuff. And we'll see you next time. Till then, I'm out of here.